hopefully he can go to a team where he can sit for a year, be groomed, learn an NFL offense. Obviously, that's not always the case. I think for Patrick, if you were to tell him, hey, if you were picked in the top 10 right now and you had to play your first year, he would take that ticket right now, and I think he'd be confident that he'd be able to change a franchise. That last loss coming to San Diego State 1,097 days ago. 3 years and just 2 days as of Thursday, just to be exact. You know how long that is? Some people graduate in 3 years. I mean, not me, but, friends. You get the point. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best NFL prospect in this offense that Texas Tech or the country has ever seen. This time landing at a school just 30 miles down the road that one of them had never heard of. That same year, Tiger won his first Masters. The Titanic was the top grossing movie of the year. And on the TV show Friends, well, Ross and Rachel, they were on a break.
They're on a break.
Simple as that. But if I were to take this same 2x4 and place it down up here in the rafters and ask you to complete the same task, very few people, including myself, would want to do it. But nothing's changed. Only the environment. It was just about 3 months ago or so that Patrick Mahomes has really become a better player. He hasn't even played a football game. We've seen him, rise up draft boards after going through the NFL Combine, going to his pro day. They saw him throw it 78 yards on the field. Tech sits 2 games back of TCU in the Big 12 standings. We always hear Coach Tadlock talk about, look, we can't win a Big 12 championship all in one game. You got to take it one game at a time. But it certainly feels like from an outside perspective, if Tech were to lose this series, that would put them in a really tough position as far as another Big 12 championship. For most, junior college is a second chance. An opportunity to wipe the slate clean and press the restart button. That's exactly the case for South Plains basketball players Jordan Brangers and Josh Webster.
Coming out of high school, I didn't have a lot of offers, only had one D2 offer.
Entering Christian Brothers College High School in St. Louis, Missouri, Webster was 5'3". By his senior year, he had shot up to 6 foot, but his stock with coaches didn't see that same meteoric rise.
That's when I made my choice to go a different route.
But for Brangers, the road was arguably that much tougher. A rocky road saw him drop out of Louisville Eastern and unsure if it would be the end of his career.
Honestly, during that stage of my life, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I really didn't see myself playing college basketball after that.
But that was before he picked up the phone. On the other end, South Plains head coach Steve Green.
Coach Green gave me the opportunity to come down here 15 hours away. It was a big-time second chance. It really uplifted my spirits.
But it wasn't the only call he would receive. Branger's brother, Jermaine Rutley, played for Texas Tech head coach Chris Beard last season at Arkansas Little Rock. And as fate would have it, a dash of luck and also hard work brought Webster and Brangers another break.
My brother Jermaine, he told me, because he had the UNLV job, and he was like, he actually just left and went to Texas Tech, and I was like, that's crazy. Man, what if he comes down here, tries to recruit some of us?
And that's exactly what happened. After traveling a combined 2,030 miles to continue their junior college careers right here at the Texan Dome, turns out their journey to the Division I level was much shorter. This time landing at a school just 30 miles down the road that one of them had never heard of.
Then I looked it up, and Texas Tech was only 30 minutes down the road.
I'll listen to Jermaine no matter what, but when Jermaine tells me, hey, my brother can play, it was more than one of just those, what'd you say? I was like, hey, come here, go sit down, turn your phone off, what? And then Josh is just a true floor general, knows how to run a team on offense and defense.
But there's still unfinished business. The Texans ranked #1 in the latest junior college rankings, a perfect 20-0 on the year. And before Beard gets them to make the trip down 114, there's still one goal left in mind.
Win a national championship. That's enough said.
Yeah.
Just title dreams?
Yeah.
For Red Raider Nation, I'm Andrew Doak.
This is Red Raider Nation.
If you ever watched the movie Glengarry Glen Ross, you'll remember the scene when Alec Baldwin tells the salesman, put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers. The Red Raiders had all the paperwork ready. They were looking like they were ready to finalize the sale with a 5-run lead in the 9th. But the Bears had other plans. The Red Raiders were going for their 4th sweep on the year, 2nd in Big 12 play. To quote Earl Weaver, key to winning baseball games, pitching fundamentals, and the 3-run homer. There'd be a few of them. Hunter Hargrove notched one in the 1st inning. They'd add another run in the frame. It was 4-zip Tech after 1. Then in the 3rd, Orlando Garcia, adios. Have yourself a weekend, my man. 4 hits, 4 home runs, 9 RBI against the Bears this weekend. That gave Tech a commanding 7-1 lead. Tech led as much as 9-4 headed into the 9th inning, but foreshadowing, Tech wasn't the only one with a 3-run bomb. Aaron Dotson takes Josh Young in his debut yard. That was Dotson's 3rd blast on the day. That gets the Bears within 2. Lucky for Tech, Dotson hit 2 solo shots. But 4 walks in the 9th set the table for the Bears offense. Richard Cunningham going the other way. That one goes into the parking lot. Baylor scored 6 runs in the top of the 9th inning, taking a 10-9 lead. And they would hold on from there in the bottom of the frame. They stunned Texas Tech 10-9, holding off the Raiders from breaking out the brooms. Here was Tadlock's thinking in putting Josh Young on the bump in that spot. Yeah, tough one to swallow. You still win the series, though, and back against New Mexico on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Tech football team wrapped up their 3rd and final spring scrimmage of the spring slate on Saturday night. It's the first and last time the Lubbock locals could see their new quarterback, Nick Shimanek, in person. That's, of course, the last time this spring before opening the season this fall against Eastern Washington. He finished 11 for 20, 179 yards passing and a touchdown, one to Kiki QT that went 99 yards. Plugging in nicely as the offense's new leader before a big season ahead for Coach Kingsbury. Turnovers aren't always a good thing, but when the Tech defense is finally turning some of them, I'll accept that, okay? Plus, the 5th-ranked Lady Raider tennis team, hey, they had a shot to clinch a share of the Big 12 championship this weekend and extend their winning streak to 13 straight matches. They do just that. Freshman Alba Cortina Poe clinched the 4-0 sweep of West Virginia for the Lady Raiders, a 6-4, 6-1 win on court 6. That marked their 5th straight win of the season. The Lady Raiders brought home their 3rd Big 12 title under head coach Todd Petty. Ron likes it. Yeah, I think that team has a real shot at a national title down the road. Meanwhile, the drama was set for the final day at the Masters. At 37 years old, the extremes of what a win would mean for Sergio Garcia were so vast. At 23, Jordan Spieth, hey, he already has a green jacket. At 28, Ricky Fowler still has a whole career ahead of him. Justin Rose, well, he already has a major. But for Garcia, a win at Augusta National would be career-altering for a man who's always been a bridesmaid, but never a bride. We know Sergio always looking for the boogeyman. He held off a meltdown down the back 9, even though he tried. But this putt on 15 was an eagle that got him back in it, taking the lead at 9 under. Rose would follow suit and join him with 3 left to play. So on 18, Rose with a birdie chance to force Garcia to answer, but he misses it. He just can't believe it. Just stunned in disbelief. So Serge on 18, a putt to win the Masters. And how Sergio is this? Leaves it out to the right. The guy just can't shake the curse. Even the guy in the red shirt behind him saying, what the heck, man? So they head to a playoff. They head back down the hill to the 18 tee box. Rose doesn't like this tee shot, and for good reason. Leaves it out to the right. A very narrow tee shot that is. He's hitting out of the pines, forced to lay up. All the while, Garcia striped it down the middle, stuck it within 12. Another shot to win the Masters, and he doesn't miss twice. It took him 74 major championships, but we can finally say Sergio Garcia, Masters champion, finally gets to go into Butler Cabin and slip on that green jacket.
Wow.
I know you're a fan of golf.
Yeah?
Watching golf and watching Sergio Garcia, most of the time,
Yeah.
I'm not that much of a fan of the guy.
Sure.
He's kind of a whiner. You know, he
has
hears
his
something.
moments.
He hears something in the background. He's the first guy to be like, "Oh, who had the camera?"
Right.
But he's had to wait a long time. Lee Westwood is one who's next
Yeah.
on the list, and obviously Ricky Fowler, who's still got a lot of career ahead of him,
Yep.
is still one who's been in the mix and trying to win a whether it's a green jacket or any kind of major championship. But nice to see him at least get it today, because he's had a rough go with things.
I interviewed him at a charity tournament one time, and you could tell, I mean, even at the charity tournament, he's so competitive. So
Yeah.
Good for him. He got one, and
And he's a guy who thinks people are out to get him.
Yeah.
So finally he caught his break. We'll see what he does with it. Who knows?
We'll
3
be
more
back.
majors left to go. Yeah.